Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. There seems to be a good mix of not-for-profit entities and companies participating in the webinar today. Thank you for taking your time out of your schedules to join us. My name is Julianne Clothier, and I am the Industry Engagement Manager for FuseHub. I oversee the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund, a program that supports a set of activities designed to spur technology development and commercialization across New York State and across multiple industries. Joining me today is Patty Rushberger. And Patty will provide guidance on using and navigating the SurveyMonkey Apply platform to help make the user experience a positive one for applicants. A few housekeeping items. This is a short program and is not going to cover all of the aspects of the program. If you do have questions, we are happy to answer them, but we will hold all the questions until the end. You can ask and post questions by clicking the arrow next to the questions tab on the control panel to the right of your screen. We will collect them and respond during the Q&A session. Today's agenda covers the main points of applying for a manufacturing grant. I will provide some brief information on FuseHub as an organization, a manufacturing grants overview, important updates to the program for funding year 2020, and then we will move into the application process in terms of the online portal, and we'll conclude with award announcement dates and a short window for Q&A. For anyone who might have just joined the webinar, you can ask and post questions by clicking the arrow next to the questions tab on the control panel at the top right of your screen. We will hold all of the questions until the end. If you are new to the FuseHub network, FuseHub is the New York Manufacturing Extension Partnership Center, known as New York MEP. In essence, we are here to help New York State manufacturers grow. We are one of 11 New York MEP centers located in the economic development regions throughout New York. We help manufacturers in a variety of ways. We use technology, resources, and industry-leading expertise to assist manufacturers, and we work with over 70+ assets within our university systems, such as Centers of Excellence, Centers for Advanced Technology, incubators, and others. We connect companies with resources in our vast network and then track and monitor the progress. This is done through the solutions team. They provide industry-specific information and resources through solutions forums and other events around the state. We also coordinate statewide projects and other strategic initiatives, including administering the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund. To learn more about the New York MEP system and your local MEP center, please visit New York MEP at newyorkmep.org. In the relative short time the Innovation Fund has been around, we have provided over $4 million in assistance to over 80 companies across New York, and over half are through the manufacturing grants, which is our main focus today. There are typically 2 funding rounds per year, one in February that opens on January 31st, due to February 1st being on a Saturday this year, and closes on February 28th. And another funding round that opens in late spring on May 1st and closes on June 1st, since the 31st is on a Sunday. Full guidelines and all applicable materials are now available on the Innovation Fund section of the website. Just click on the drop-down box and select Manufacturing Grants. So most important, who is an eligible applicant? Any New York State not-for-profit entity. A few examples include universities, colleges, manufacturing extension partnership centers, chambers of commerce, or BOCES. Just as a note, the manufacturer is not the applicant. Community colleges are eligible to submit 1 application. In the case of a university, up to 3 different centers or departments at a given university may apply. However, university applicants must provide the subset of the university, such as college, school, or department, in the application form. If you are a university and you leave the section blank, you will not be able to proceed with an application. Applicants must partner with a New York State small to medium-sized manufacturer. For the purposes of this grant, the small to medium-sized manufacturer is defined as a business with at least 1 physical establishment in New York State and no more than 500 employees across the firm worldwide. Eligible projects include adoption of a new technology to enhance a process and/or product, prototype development, design for manufacturing, proof of concept manufacturing, manufacturing scale-up, manufacturing equipment, and other projects to advance manufacturing or manufacturing capabilities. I am always happy to schedule a call to speak with any nonprofit or company if you are contemplating submitting a project and have concerns related to eligibility or project type. The best way is at julianne@fusehub.com. My contact info is in the beginning of the webinar. Grant awards range from $10,000 to $50,000, and the funds are awarded to the not-for-profit lead applicant. The funds are distributed to the not-for-profit applicant and is based on the budget and timeline that has been established between all team members. FuseHub will not issue any funds to pay an invoice or as a prepayment for any work. A couple of things to keep in mind. There is a project budget template, and that is the document that you need to submit in order to evidence your budget. Please do not use any other Excel spreadsheets or any other templates. The project budget template is also available for download on our website. Be realistic about the proposed budget. For example, if your project only requires $37,000, then submit for what you need for that proposed project. If you are buying a large piece of equipment or a substantial amount of materials, it is recommended that you include a quote. You must provide justification for all eligible salary costs, and all of the information that you would need for a proposed match to the grant can be found in the grant guidelines or the grant FAQ. This is a good time to remind everyone that this is a reimbursement grant. So yes, you will have to show evidence that you paid for any equipment, material, or salary before FuseHub can issue a payment. We have made it easier now so everything can be uploaded and reviewed through our online portal. So there are 3 to 4 items that you need to submit. A 2-page project description that does include character limits, a project budget. The template is available on our website. Letters of commitment from the company or companies benefiting from this project. So please review what the company needs to include in that letter. And for any university and college applicants, you need a conflict of interest letter, and it must be submitted whether or not you have a conflict of interest or not. Applicants must submit applications by February 28th or on June 1st at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The application system will shut down automatically at 4 o'clock. Applicants are advised to allow sufficient time to upload application materials to the website. If an applicant is in the process of completing an application and the session times out, the application will not be processed, and Patty will cover the SMA portal in more detail coming up shortly. So one of the biggest updates for 2020 relates to the partner entity in the application. Applicants are required to partner with a small to medium-sized manufacturer that has or is in the process of obtaining a valid manufacturing NAICS code. The North American Industry Classification System is used by the US, Canada, and Mexico to classify businesses by industry. Each business is classified into a 6-digit NAICS code number based on the majority of activity at the business. This grant program is intended for companies that will be working on or producing hardware manufactured products or goods, such as those in the areas of metals, plastics, textiles, food and beverage, or chemicals. If you are working primarily in the software space and have a mobile application tied to manufacturing, please reach out to me in advance of submitting an application. Additional details regarding the NAICS code process, as well as the link to the list of NAICS codes, can be found in the grant guidelines and FAQ document. Please note that not all NAICS codes are permissible. Another new item for 2020 is the scoring criteria. For applicants that have submitted an application in prior years, please take a moment to become familiar with new application questions and point values. The categories are now 5 points instead of the previous 10 and 15 point values, and the maximum score is 25 points. And the scoring categories for 2020 include the degree to which the project is transformational, unique, and or will lead to new or improved products or technologies. We have scoring criteria for expected impact, project team and readiness, reasonableness of budget, and then the newest category is alignment with the FuseHub manufacturing grant mission to encourage collaboration between our not-for-profits and our manufacturers. A PDF version of the application questions are available on the Innovation Fund website for review prior to starting an application. Also new for 2020 relates to the team. Once again, for any applicants that have submitted an application in the past, please take time to review the updated information regarding out-of-state team members. Team members are not required to be in New York State, but this grant program is targeted to New York State not-for-profits and New York State manufacturers. So if there is someone outside of the state, it is a good idea to provide an explanation as to why the resource is being utilized. Another final update is pointing out the ineligible cost category for executive salaries. Regardless of the type of work to be performed, executive salaries are not eligible under the grant. So that would include anyone under executive director, president, or other leadership roles. And also this is in place for the industry partner. So regardless of the type of work to be performed, if you're listed in the company information section of the application, any executive salaries for that entity would not be available. So I would encourage everyone to take a look at all of the eligible and ineligible costs in advance of submitting an application.
Hi, my name is Patty Rashberger. I am the program coordinator for the Jeff Lawrence Innovation Fund, and I'm going to cover the SurveyMonkey Apply platform, which is the software Fuse Hub implemented in 2019 to streamline the application and review processes for the fund. We talk about SMA in the Fuse Hub blog, and a step-by-step guide is also available as a PDF from within the SMA platform. The first thing you have to do to apply for the Fuse Hub manufacturing grant is to go to our SMA platform and create an account. Make sure to save your login credentials, as many issues arise from users forgetting their email address and password combo. Fuse Hub recommends users to bookmark the SMA main page and to whitelist the email address no reply at mail.smapply.io to guarantee that emails sent from the platform will be received. To apply for the 2020 manufacturing grant rounds, from the main page, click on the More button under the Manufacturing Grants program. On the next page, once you click on Apply, a pop-up window will ask the user to name the application. If you do not have an SMA account yet, you have to name your application before actually registering as a user. We ask that you use the not-for-profit's name as your application name to help us identify the applications later in the process. You may abbreviate and use acronyms here. For example, an application coming from the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute Department of Mechanical, Aerospace, and Nuclear Engineering can be simply entered as RPI main. You can use up to 75 characters, so it's okay to be longer than that. Just make sure to give us a unique identifier. Please do not name your application something like RF State University of NY, since there are many subsets to it, making this name too generic and not necessarily unique. Please spell out the entire entity name when completing the actual application form later in the process. After naming the application, SMA will take the applicant to the login and registration page. If you already have an account, enter your email address and password here. If not, notice the Register button on the top right-hand side of their screen. Click on Register to create a new account. Upon creation of a new account, users should expect to receive an activation message through email and follow the verification link to activate the account. A message will remain on the top of the SMA application screen, reminding the user to validate their email until such action is taken. When you click on the button within the message, SMA will resend the email that contains the link to validate the account. Until the account is validated in this matter, the Submit button will not be available, even after the applicant completes all of the required tasks, and you will not be able to submit the application to us. Other important emails, such as a confirmation message after submittal and regular updates about the program, come through the SMA platform. If you do not whitelist the SMA email address given earlier, please make sure to check your email junk or spam folder regularly for these. Unfortunately, Fuse Hub cannot help correct registration and logging issues. If, for any reason, you are having trouble registering or logging in, we advise you to contact the SMA support team directly by following the link on your screen. Choose the I'm not sure how to do something option from the drop-down menu. Then from the second drop-down that will open, click on Accounts, and a menu of choices will open to the right. Once you pick the option that matches the problem you are having, click on Request Support. A new window will open requesting a few more details about the issue, and after you hit send, you should receive an email confirmation of your request for help. SMA Tech Support typically replies within a couple of hours. After the application has been named and the SMA account created, the user will be taken to the start of the application, which is the eligibility check task. Make sure that you check the guidelines for eligibility requirements. Once the cursor is hovering over the eligibility check, you can click on it to open the task and answer the eligibility questions. After you mark this task as complete, a new task will open on the left-hand side menu to show the results of the eligibility check. If your application is deemed as eligible, marking the eligibility status message as complete will open all of the required application tasks. You may then start filling out the application at your own pace. You can edit the tasks, upload documents, and make the payment in any order. You'll be able to edit the application continually up to the application period deadline, as long as you do not submit the application. Once you click on Submit Your Application and confirm submission, you will no longer be able to make changes to the application, even if the application deadline period is still open. One of the biggest misconceptions we see with this platform is the impression that marking all individual tasks as complete automatically submits the application, which is not the case. In order to make sure that the application is submitted, after all tasks have the green check mark next to them, the user must scroll down to the Review and Submit buttons on the left-hand side of the screen. This will give you the final opportunity to review the entire application, including all forms and uploads, before clicking on Submit Your Application. Only after this last step, the application is actually submitted, at which point a confirmation page will appear on the screen and the main applicant will receive a confirmation email. If you have not received an email and have checked your junk folder, make sure that you have actually taken the submission step. If all else fails, please contact me, Patty Rashberger, at patty@fusehub.com, or call me at 518-768-7030, extension 512, and I can help with many issues relating to the SMA platform.
Thank you, Patty. So when will applicants know the results? Awards are expected to be announced late April 2020. Just a reminder, FuseHub only notifies the lead applicant, so we highly encourage the applicant to inform the industry partner of the status. Once awarded, we will schedule a project kickoff call with the applicant, the industry partner, and any other relevant team members. A grant agreement is typically executed within 30 days, and we establish a scope of work and reimbursement schedule. Okay, so we will move into the Q&A portion of the program. And I think that Patty has a couple of questions related to the SurveyMonkey, so we'll go ahead and we'll start with those.
Okay, so the first question I have is about collaboration. It says, should I share my email and password combo with my teammates so they can help with the application? We advise applicants to never share their password with another user. SMA does allow for the creation of collaborators. There's a specific button for that within the application, and you can add as many collaborators to your application as needed. Collaborators that are given full access can edit fields and upload and delete files as needed, or they can just be given a view option. So that's under the control of the main account owner. And only the main account user has access to the final submission button.
Okay, so I'll start to go through some of the questions that came in during the program. So one of them was, is photonics and electronics hardware eligible? And that would be yes. The list that I provided earlier is just a short list. We work with companies in clean tech, nanotech, biotech, ag tech. So if there's a particular project that you are having a question about eligibility, please don't hesitate to reach out and I can work through that with you. As a small business, how can we make it known that we are open to working with a nonprofit? So that's a really great question. I would recommend people starting with their regional MEP centers. There are some other lists people that use the contract. And we do have that as a footnote, I believe, in one of the grant guidelines pages. So please take a moment to take a look at that. What are the 7 project categories that were mentioned earlier? So eligible projects include adoption of new technology to enhance a process or product, prototype development, design for manufacturing, proof of concept manufacturing, manufacturing scale-up, manufacturing related equipment purchases, and other projects to advance manufacturing or manufacturing capabilities. These are also listed in the grant guidelines on page 3 if you need to reference that at a later time. Another question that we had is, what is the minimum or maximum amount of funds that can be awarded to the manufacturer? So the grant awards are going to go directly to the not-for-profit, and I think I have another question that might kind of tie into this. So how does the payment process work, and is money given at time of award? So it's a reimbursement grant program, and PSUB does not issue any advance payments to the not-for-profit or the company. It's distributed over 3 to 4 milestones and taken from the scope of work. So the budget is established between the company and the not-for-profit at the time of the application. So any money or any funds that would be going directly to the manufacturer would need to be worked out ahead of time with the lead applicant, which is the not-for-profit. So PSUB would not be issuing any funds directly to a manufacturer, but the grant awards are between $10,000 and $50,000. Another question. If I am working with the university, how will I know if they have room to submit my application? And this kind of ties into the earlier question, because it can also be tied to any not-for-profit. So if a not-for-profit can only submit one application, we do not have any direct contact, or we don't know who's actually coming through the application system. And so I know that in the university, sometimes this can be challenging because there's multiple departments. So you would really have to take the time to figure out if there's a queue process at your university, and there may be other companies that are also looking to work with the center or the organization that you're looking for. So in some regards, it's first come, first served, depending on the resources that are available. So I highly encourage everybody, if the entity that you're looking for is looking, or you want to work with them in the February round, and they don't have the space for you, that you can always look into a subsequent round in May. But we also encourage people to submit an application with a not-for-profit that makes sense for the project that they're working on. And we have a few other questions coming in. Could one company do multiple different entities with different not-for-profits for an aggregate of $50,000? So it's one project per application. So if you are looking to do several different things, I think it could become an eligibility issue, but those types of projects are a little bit of a nuance for us. So I would highly recommend setting up a time to call to talk about that. If you are a business that is not affiliated with a nonprofit, you wouldn't be able to receive the funds, but your local MEP center or probably could provide guidance to you to find a suitable entity that might be willing to take on a project, depending on what region you're in, or they might be able to find someone in a different part of the state that would be willing to work with you, depending on what type of project that is. So another question, describe the responsibilities of the nonprofit applicant. So the nonprofit applicant is taking ownership of the entire application process. They will be required to submit their milestone reports and make sure that all of the backup documentation is provided in SurveyMonkey. They are the person that is signing off on the contract. So they're in essence taking over the contractual obligation to make sure that the project works. They're responsible for communicating project status with the company or the manufacturer that they're working with. So while it seems like a relatively small grant, it's good for people to understand what they're undertaking before they agree to sign up with someone to work on an application. So it's not incredibly cumbersome, but we do have an online portal that you need to become familiar with, and making sure that you can work through and submit reports and paperwork in a timely manner, and to make sure that the project is successful. So one of the other questions we have is, what is the earliest and latest date that the purchases need to be made to qualify for this? So if you're working on a project, you cannot submit for anything that occurs prior to the signing of the grant agreement, and then it is a 1-year timeline. So anything within that timeline is deemed as an eligible cost. So if people are uncertain about what can be considered an eligible cost, that is definitely a better question to have while you're drafting your budget, as opposed to after the fact, because we do take a look at all of the payment requests that come in, and make sure that they align with the budget and what people said that they were going to be doing. So as long as you are within the project timeline, the cost should be reimbursable as long as you are deemed eligible. And yes, the webinar will be available for download, I'm assuming at some point today. So I recommend you can download this and keep a copy of it. And it will also be available as you're working through the SurveyMonkey Apply platform. As you mentioned, it'll be on the resources page within the SurveyMonkey platform. So thank you everybody for all of the questions. Great turnout. I hope that the slides have provided some insight into the manufacturing grant process. There are also 2 recent blog posts related to the fund. One focused on program overview titled Manufacturing Grant 2020, What You Need to Know. This kind of goes over some of the updates to 2020 that I mentioned earlier. And one geared towards the application process titled Important Info for Submitting an Application in SurveyMonkey. And Patty touched on some of those, but you can get a recap of that. These are available under the News and Resources column of the New York State Manufacturing blog on the FUSA website. Be added to our email list so that you receive Innovation Fund and Fuse Club updates. Click on the subscribe link in any of our web pages at the top right corner. And for more information on Fuse Hub, on the Innovation Fund, or anything that you saw today, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us. Thanks, and have a great day.